Thanks for tuning in to BRG TV. This week we want to roll out our new series called The Five, where we give you 5 amazing tips to help you in your real estate transaction.
This week we're going to be talking about 5 ways to win a multiple offer scenario.
So with the real estate market picking back up again this year, we kind of consider this a seller's market. A lot of times in this situation, as a buyer, you'll get into a situation where there are multiple offers on the house that you'd like to buy. So usually in that case, the seller will call for highest and best offers from everybody. So we just wanted to talk about 5 methods that we employ that increase your odds of getting the house that you want.
Absolutely, and the first one I want to dive into seems pretty simple, but it can actually make a world of difference, and that is simply writing a personal note to the seller to submit with your offer. Tell them about yourself, why you like their house. Sometimes that alone will set it apart. If the seller's emotionally attached to their house and really likes it, sometimes knowing that the right family or right person is moving in gives them that warm and fuzzy, and they'll select your offer over other ones simply because of a note.
Yep, and it's an easy thing to do. It doesn't cost you anything.
Exactly.
10 minutes of your time.
Exactly.
For sure. Another thing you can do is increase the amount of earnest money that you're offering. There's no really hard and fast rule on earnest money. Typically we advise people to put down 1%, but if you submit a higher amount for earnest money, sometimes it will set your offer apart from the rest of the offers.
Yeah, absolutely. Tip number 3 is what we call an escalation clause. Now that probably sounds confusing, so let me try and explain it for you. When you get a highest and best, you got to come in with the highest number that you're willing to go to. Is kind of what we usually recommend. But a lot of people feel like, well, we may be overpaying for the house then. What if the other offers aren't as high and we end up paying too much for it? So an escalation clause kind of allows you to bridge that gap. So essentially what you do is with this addendum to the contract, we're going to put a capped out number, the highest you're willing to pay, and also a number that we're willing to go above the next highest offer. So say it's a $100,000 house, you're willing to go to 110. We can put the escalation clause that we'll go $1,000 above the next best offer all the way up to 110. So that means they actually have to have an offer at that amount for it to escalate above it. So it kind of bridges that gap of just going straight to 110, but maybe you could have got it for 105, if that makes sense.
Yep, it's almost similar to how eBay does their auction process.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yep. So another way to help win the multiple offer situation is to write your offer as is. So that doesn't mean that you don't get to do an inspection. You would still have an inspection done, but basically you're telling the seller that you're not going to ask for small repairs like GFI outlets or window seals, stuff like that. If the inspection found a major defect, if the roof was caving in or the foundation was falling apart, you would still be able to walk away from that. Like I said, it just ensures the seller that you're not going to nickel and dime them on small repairs.
Yeah, and the 5th and final tip today for the multiple offer win is essentially waiving your appraisal. Now, if you're doing a mortgage, you're going to have an appraisal. The mortgage company requires it, but it's often a fear of the seller that, hey, we've accepted this offer above list price, and we get all the way through the process, and all of a sudden the appraisal comes back short, and now we're either have no deal or we have to lower the price back down. So sometimes a way to set yourself apart from another offer that may be at the same price is to say, hey, we're willing as the buyers to take the risk of the appraisal. So if the appraisal comes in low, if we have the cash to be able to do so, we'll bring that difference in money instead of the seller having to lower their price at that point. So that's an important one for the sellers that can really make you set your offer apart. That wraps up our 5 tips this week on how to win a multiple offer. The market's been crazy so far already this year. We've had approximately 7 of these since the beginning of the year, where our buyers have been in multiple offer scenarios already. So a lot of price points and a lot of areas around the Indianapolis market, we're seeing a lot of multiple offer scenarios.
Yeah, and I think the most important thing is to have a knowledgeable real estate agent on your side that's willing to bring the fight and get the deal done for you. We're happy to do that. You can look us up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Check out our website at burrisrealtygroup.com or give us a call. We're happy to help.